Hey, I think we're live. I'm enjoying the moments of sunshine in February in upstate New York and wanted to offer something silly I did and the lesson that came from it that's been percolating around making decisions and changing your mind. I am a huge fan and advocate of changing your mind because it takes courage to not do the thing you said you were going to do. There is a weird phenomena in our society around changing your mind and how if you deviate from a plan that you've created, somehow there's disapproval or implicit failure in that from a societal standpoint. And I really, really like to challenge that notion because if we don't change our minds based on the ebb and flow of new insight and awareness and changes within ourselves, then we are going to be living a life, inevitably, that doesn't actually match up with the person we're becoming and who we want to be. Because if we're living life continuously and learning and growing as humans are meant to do, we're not meant to stay the same, then obviously we're going to have to pivot and change our mind. And I can give you a real-time example of this. It's a silly example, but I think I can speak to how sneaky this idea can be. So I'm traveling to New Zealand and I leave in a couple of weeks, and I've been packing and unpacking and packing and unpacking. For folks who have taken long trips like this, you understand that you have to pack multiple times. So I've been doing that, and I made this arbitrary decision to use a big backpacking 65-liter bag for my bag to check, and for no other reason other than I just thought it would be a good idea to check that bag. And so I started packing and unpacking that and a couple other bags back and forth and getting kind of frustrated because I couldn't fit everything that I needed to in this big 65-liter bag. So this has been going on for a couple of weeks, and my husband's been making fun of me because of the amount of times I've packed and unpacked, trying to fit the right combination of things together. And suddenly, last night, he said, "Hey, why are you choosing to use that backpack?" And I said, I don't really know. I kind of just wanted to use it. I thought it would be a good bag to use. And so I just decided to. And he goes, "Well, we have a large suitcase that you could also use. You don't have to use that bag." And in that moment, I felt like he was kind of like knocking on my mind's eye, knocking at my door mentally, being like, "Hey, you can change your mind. You don't have to use the bag that you said you were going to use." And so I once again unpacked all of my stuff, and I packed again in a larger suitcase, which gave me more space, way less frustration, and it's such a simple thing, yet I didn't realize that I had such tunnel vision around this bag and what I was packing in. I was so caught up in just this decision I made for no other reason, was just that the bag was there and convenient. It was one of the first things I saw when I began to pack. And it took someone sharing an outside perspective for me to realize, hey, I can change my mind here. And I offer this, it's a mundane, arbitrary example, but it shows how sneaky this sort of arbitrary decision-making and tunnel vision process is. And this happens all the time. We decide that we're gonna, move to a certain place by a certain time. And so we set ourselves up to do that for no other reason than our mind just made the decision. So I share this to offer that you can pack in whatever size bags that you want to. And more importantly, you can give yourself permission to change your mind and then change it again and change it again. I can't stress enough how important it is to check in with yourself consciously around bigger life decisions. And maybe smaller ones too. But I think we can get so caught up and blindsided in a way from our day-to-day tasks and activities that you might have set goals and started projects that you're continuing to work towards for no other reason than 6 months ago you said you were going to do this thing. But after further contemplation, you realized, this project, this thing, this goal isn't really relevant to my life anymore, isn't actually supporting the me I want to be as I grow and change. There also there's an element of, personally speaking, shame that comes with changing your mind from someone who has pivoted quite a lot over the past few years. Realizing in your gut, oh God, okay, pivoting once more, changing my mind again. There has been so much dread and shame attached to that realization of, oh my goodness, I have to tell some close friends and family members that I am once again changing my mind. Because of this weird societal thing that I mentioned earlier around, oh, if you change your mind, you must be lost, you must not know where you're heading, you must need help in some way, you must not be focused, which are all misconceptions. Because we have this weird perfectionist implicit thing in our society of you do the things in this certain order, and if you deviate from that, if you change your mind, you're somehow not doing it right. But there is no right or wrong way to do it because it's your life. And changing your mind, giving yourself permission to change your mind, takes tremendous courage, a really special type of courage, to say, you know what, this actually isn't right for me anymore, and I'm choosing to do it differently. So, you can pack whatever size suitcase you wish, and you can change your mind as many times as you need to in order to create a path that feels most supportive for the you that you are becoming.